Hey, Mike with Nerd Problems Gaming here, the channel where we go through the good and bad of everything nerdy to make sure you spend your time on the best of the best. In today's video, I'll be doing a retro review of Mega Man 6, so let's get into it. So Mega Man 6 was actually one of the first Mega Man games that I got brand new from the store, so I'm fortunate enough to actually have the original box and the game as well. And Mega Man 6 was actually the last Mega Man game that they released on the NES. And so for the rest of the Mega Man games in the series, you need to pick them up on other systems like the Super Nintendo or PlayStation, or even one of the newer releases, such as in the Mega Man Legacy Collection on Nintendo Switch. But the plotline of Mega Man 6 is that there is the first worldwide strongest ever robot tournament going on where various powerful robots are facing off in this battle. Now the twist with this game is that at the championship round of the tournament, the sponsor of the tournament, Mr. X, actually reveals that the whole tournament was just an elaborate scheme to take control of these powerful robots to try and take over the world. And so you yet again suit up as Mega Man, partnering up with Dr. Light, Roll, and Rush to take on these evil robots and to save the world. And so this game goes on a similar fashion to other Mega Man games where you start off taking on 8 powerful robots and you can choose your own adventure, deciding which robot, boss, and stage you want to take on as Mega Man. So as usual, this game has great music, typical to every Mega Man game. So you'll have fun rocking out to that as you play. And on top of that, Mega Man 6 adds in some additional features that weren't present in other Mega Man games. So one of those things is that some levels now have a branching path feature as part of the level design. So in previous Mega Man games, there would be hidden letters or hidden items throughout the stages. And in this game, the way it tackles that hidden item feature is that if you take these alternate branching paths and then make it to the end boss fight and defeat the boss, you'll actually unlock parts of Beat, your robot bird friend, that can help you through the rest of the game. Another cool feature with this game is that instead of your traditional rush mechanics of the rush coil and rush jet or rush marine, in this version, rush actually turns into kind of a body armor suit for Mega Man. And so there's 2 versions of this. There's a power suit where you can charge up a giant fist to blow through enemies and special bricks, and then a jetpack version where Rush transforms and actually becomes a jetpack for Mega Man like you see featured on the cover of the game. And so that was really fun to be able to play in these different modes as you go along and use them to get past various obstacles and challenges in the game. The level design in this game was very refreshing and fun to go through as well. And same thing with the bosses. So the bosses in this game were pretty unique. So you have things like Yamato Man, Tomahawk Man, Centaur Man, and more. And so the patterns and strategies you need to use against these bosses are unique, fun, and challenging. And so typically when I play through Mega Man 6, I do the Mega Man games in order. So I've played 1 through 5 up to this point. And a lot of times when I get to 6, if I'm doing it in a single day session or a couple day session, I can sometimes get burnt out at this point. But on my most recent playthrough doing that, I really found Mega Man 6 to be actually pretty refreshing. Where compared to Mega Man 5, for example, I felt like even though in 6, some of the boss powers that you acquired were rather unique how you use them, it didn't feel forced like in Mega Man 5, where it was more challenging to actually use the powers as a weakness against the boss than using your regular Mega Buster. And so in this game, the powers were unique, the strategies against the boss were unique, but it felt more refreshing and fun in this version, where I think maybe in Mega Man 5, they kind of tried too hard to think outside the box with the different moves and boss fights. Another cool thing with this game is there was several different mini boss fights throughout various stages, and then even the Wily Castle, Mr. X Castle type stages, boss fights were also pretty cool and unique and felt very refreshing as well. I'll also say some of the end game stages weren't necessarily as challenging as perhaps some of the other Mega Man games. And I found myself playing through this on my recent playthrough going a lot faster than say Mega Man 4 and 5. And I think maybe overall the game itself was maybe a little bit easier compared to 4 and 5, where I felt like as you played, you got a lot more opportunities to get energy tanks as you went, where it seems like there was a lot more appearances of your robot friend Eddie that gives you energy tanks and extra guys. And I often found myself maxed out on energy tanks as I was playing through some of the final levels of the game. Another thing that made it a little bit easier is that with pretty much every Mega Man game, you get to the end part where you fight all the bosses in a row, and then usually you'll do that and then fight the final boss immediately after that, which can make it pretty challenging. But in this game, you actually had a totally different stage for that final couple of boss fights. So instead of doing them back to back within the same stage and having to conserve ammo and build up your energy tanks, you actually got a totally brand new stage at that point to fight the final end bosses of the game. So I think that aspect made it a little bit easier as well, instead of doing them back to back like previous Mega Mans did. So I think if you've gotten decent at the game, you've played it through a few times, you can probably beat this game in around an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But if it's your first time going through the game and it's a brand new experience, you're maybe looking between 3 and 5 hours as you play. But I still felt like the ending castles of the game were easier compared to other Mega Man games. And while I did build up a lot of energy tanks, this game did not have the M tank like Mega Man 5 did, where you could fill up not only all of your energy, but all of your different types of weapon energies as well. But I think if they had that in this game, it probably would have just been overkill and might not really be necessary to include that in the game. Overall though, I think this is a good Mega Man game. It's not my favorite in the series, but it's also not one of my least favorites as well. And I think this ends up kind of in the middle of the road, where it was refreshing compared to some of the Mega Man games I've been playing recently. And so I still think it's worth playing, especially if you're a fan of the Mega Man series. But let me know in the comments below how you think this game stacks up. Have you played Mega Man 6 before? What's your favorite Mega Man game in this series? Let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to pick up a copy of this game, I'd recommend checking out the Mega Man Legacy Collection that you can find on Nintendo Switch and other newer systems, as you get this game and the first other 5 Mega Man games as well in that first Mega Man Legacy Collection game. But again guys, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button as it really helps out the channel. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get the latest updates of new nerd videos we put out. And if you'd like to help us support the channel, pick out content and more, become a patron of ours at nerdproblemsgaming.com/Patreon. And if you'd like to plug into our live streams and Let's Plays we do on the channel, you can follow us on Twitch at nerdproblemsgaming.com/Twitch. But once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.